Well, a very good evening and a Shubh Choti Deepavali for all our viewers. We're discussing, of course, the battle for clean air as far as Delhi is concerned. The comprehensive graded action plan is already in effect. It has been notified. And what's interesting is that it qualifies as far as Delhi is concerned. It puts Delhi in the severe category right now with respect to PM 2.5 and PM 10 content. What's interesting is that the next threshold, the next benchmark to be crossed would be the emergency level. And should that happen, the comprehensive action plan importantly makes three key recommendations. The first is a comeback of the infamous odd-even scheme. Delhi has had a love-hate relationship with the odd-even scheme. That could make a comeback. The second is stopping of all construction activities across the whole of Delhi NCR. The third is even shutting down of schools and stopping the entry of trucks in Delhi. So some strong measures being advised there in case of emergency being declared. Let's take our viewers, our stakeholders' comments on that. Mr. Anand, coming to you first. Some strong measures being recommended. Odd-even scheme could make a comeback. Construction activity could be stopped across the whole of Delhi NCR. Your quick thoughts as to whether these actions would deliver results in terms of pollution, vis-a-vis, of course, the cost that would have to be borne on account of these measures coming back.
Sir, again, which I'm telling you since beginning, because I am not impressed and I am not, my strong feeling is that whatever the government is planned is not a proper planning. They have to still again go and do the necessary homework, and they should have make short-term planning, long-term planning, and they should scientifically find out what are the important factors which they have to be used to control the pollution. You know, this, again, the one madam has said, okay, we will do that. All bureaucratic system is in India is going like that. Because paper planning is not going to give you any results. You see what is happening. Unless and until they should have a plan for near about 2 years, 3 years or 5 years planning, short term and emergency planning by shutting the school and doing or stopping all this, your gen set and again, wedding should be in the farmhouse because no gen set will be there. It will be very difficult to do wedding in there and there is no place. So whatever, we should have a welfare policy for the citizen of the Delhi also. What is government welfare policy for this citizen? We understand there's a pollution, we welcome the government policy, but let them make a proper short-term and long-term policy, and that is not for few days till winter or something like that. No, it is for years together. Let us make a planning to 2017
right.
October till 2020
right,
October,
Mr. Khandelwal.
And see what will the effect. And the effect will be not in the, it is not like a...
Mr. Khandelwal, also getting your thoughts on the same issue here, that as far as the odd-even scheme is concerned, as far as the construction, stopping of all construction activity is concerned, you were just speaking of the economic costs of some of these actions. Do you see these costs which would then fall on the citizens of Delhi as perhaps fair costs in the fight against pollution, the odd-even coming back and stopping of construction activities, stopping of schools, etc.?
See, my point is, even after taking these steps, what the action plan has envisaged, are we sure that we are going to control the pollution? Certainly not. But at the same time, we will be investing too much on disruption of economic activities. All these measures which have been advised in the action plan has been taken unilaterally. I beg to differ with Ms. Narain. Stakeholders were never consulted. They were not made the part of these discussions. At least the sector which are going to affect with your orders. The principle of natural justice demands that you give them a proper hearing. In the instance case, there is no such hearing. So where is the participatory governance? So you are taking unilateral decision on your own to improve the air quality, but at what cost?
Right, Mr. Khandelwal, allow me to play the devil's advocate here that while we do speak of the economic costs involved, it's impossible to ignore the other cost, which is air pollution. Last year, we had a disastrous case. Delhi had turned into a gas chamber. It was reported worldwide that Delhi was, there were travel advisories being issued with respect to Delhi. There have been cases of asphyxiation, lung cancer being attributed. That is, of course, a big social cost that we're looking at. Given that for the first time, Delhi has a comprehensive action plan, would this not perhaps be a legitimate economic cost to speak of? In fact, for more on that, Mr. Narain, Ms. Narain is back with us. Ma'am, another aspect of the graded action plan has been that going forward, in case Delhi transgresses into that threshold and then an emergency is declared, we could see a comeback of the odd-even scheme. We could see construction activity being stalled. Just a sense, if you can give us, in terms of the economic costs versus the cost with respect to air pollution.
See, there's a health cost, as you have very clearly said, and we have said very clearly the whole plan is designed so that we don't get to the severe plus. So if you cannot even understand that this is an emergency plan, and I really am amazed at the two gentlemen on your show screaming and yelling at me. I cannot understand this at all. I mean, do they not want the right to breathe? The fact is they should be screaming and yelling at their own government, whether it's the government at the center or the government in Delhi, which has done so little to deal with the systemic issues which are leading to pollution in the city. Where are the buses? Where is the public transport system which will connect the NCR towns? Where are the big actions to be taken to reduce the use of very polluting fuels like petcoke? The central government, through GST, has today made it more expensive to use clean fuels like gas as compared to furnace oil. So let's look at the systemic issues, and please ask these gentlemen to scream at the government and not at me. And if they don't want the right to clean air, I think we need to have a clear vote on this. I am very tired of being screamed at all the time for doing anything. And every time you do something, somebody comes up and says, why not this? Why not that? There is a plan now. There's a clear list what you do in an emergency situation. And what we have developed is a comprehensive plan, which, as you know, is in front of the Supreme Court, because the Ministry of Environment and Forest, which should have welcomed it, is opposing it. Okay? So are you basically saying that if anybody tries to do something in this country, they have to come onto television and be yelled at? Is that what we are now going to be faced with? Because then either I don't do anything or I don't come on TV. What do you want me to do?
Right, Ms. Narain. So those, of course, the thoughts coming in from Ms. Sunita Narain herself, pointing out that indeed there is an economic cost, but then that pales in comparison to the broader cost, the historical cost that one tends to pay in terms of the air pollution levels. Of course, the traders here begging to differ, pointing out that this will take a toll in terms of economic terms, in terms of activity being hurt just around the corner as far as the festive season as well as the wedding season is concerned. So this can be a debate that can go on for hours, but that's all we have time for. Ms. Narain, appreciate you joining us, taking your time out for us, as well as Mr. Y.K. Anand, as well as Mr. Khandelwal. Appreciate your comments and thoughts at this hour. We wish all of you a Shubh Choti Deepavali and, of course, a big Deepavali for just a few hours away. Keep watching CNBC TV 18.